The moment you hear other people out before putting your own opinions on the table, the moment you trust somebody and you tell them that I trust you and I know you could do a good job, the moment you take accountability, you've become a leader. It's not about delegating tasks either. Delegation is a big part in, senior management roles. They delegate tasks to people. Now, according to The Economist again, delegation usually takes place when there's a lot of work on a higher level manager or senior employee's table. That's fine. But let's get into the details. Many times people delegate tasks if they think they're too lengthy or if they don't know how to do the work. Or if they think that it's going to be too much red tape. That means there are too many barriers. These three situations is when people in senior management delegate tasks to others, whether they be in educational institutions, businesses, corporations, organizations. That's an 85% of what happens. But let's look at the 15%, because the 15% is what we want to highlight and hope takes over and increases in percentage. You delegate a task, obviously, when you have too much on your table, it makes sense. You delegate a task to somebody you know can do the job, or somebody who's in that position that role profile says that they could do the job. Don't delegate to somebody, give them more work than their role profile, than their actual job description. That's also something that people abuse. You give it to somebody who has it in their description, but maybe they haven't practiced it enough. Or maybe it's something that's still new to them. They had all the qualities, they're qualified for the job, but maybe they haven't done that before. So you give it to them as a learning curve, and you train them as they do that task. That is leadership. Or maybe the leader or the person who received this task and is delegating it doesn't know how to do it, genuinely does not know how to take care of that task. Then they delegate it to somebody and ask them to teach them while they do the task. So they sit down with them while the task is happening. That again is leadership. You're always learning. You're eager to learn. You're eager to move forward. You're eager to hear your people out. You want the best to come out of people. That is what delegation means. That is the definition of delegating. When people say delegate wisely, this is what they mean. And this is what they should mean, at least. Some people, unfortunately, they let status and rank get to their head. I mentioned the story of the director who was waiting in the staff room for us and who showed his gratitude and expressed it by coffee and donuts, which was great. I have nothing but good things to say about that man. But not every director was like that. Some people let status hit their head, so they don't mix and mingle with people who work in their own organization. Make no mistake, even the doorman who works at your company, your organization, your business, whatever it is, even that person to the CEO is a colleague, because that person is a part of that organization. Just saying hi, meeting somebody is enough as well. Asking someone how their day is going is fine. We need more of that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but we just need more of it. Empathy is something that is lost. When colleagues, now when I say colleagues, I'm talking about the technical definition, but what people usually say is juniors and employees. When they make mistakes, higher level officials and officers are very quick to judge them, very quick to jump on them, very quick to tell them that they've done wrong. And tell them that we don't know what's going to happen in the future. If you keep this up, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We're going to give you a verbal warning, then we're going to give you a written notice, and then we're going to sack you, fire you. These things and these aspects, definitely not healthy, but they do exist. Empathy is when you walk up to somebody, a colleague, regardless if they're senior to you, junior to you, whatever it is, or if you're in charge of them, you're in charge of a department. It's when you walk in and you ask somebody how they're doing. And is everything all right? Why has their performance been low? Why has a negative feedback or something come through? Let me defend you. Let me help you. Let me offer you training. Let's make sure that your numbers are higher so you feel more confident about yourself as well. That is where a leader comes in. My final example that I'm going to share with you, dear viewers. I've talked about organizations, I've talked about families. Let's talk about countries. I'm talking about constituencies, that means cities, provinces, ultimately the country. Every time you see an election campaign run, people want to run for judgeship, people want to run for ministerial positions, people want to be member of provincial parliaments or member of parliament. People who run for this, you ask them what their views are and what they could bring on the table once they get the position. And people give you different bullet points and lists of what they're going to implement and bring. And that's great. If you're fighting for a just cause, you're going to bring a just cause in, we'll vote for you. That's excellent. But here's my question. This is a real life example that I'm going to be giving you. Obviously, I'm not going to take any names. Let's call it person X and person Y. They were running for the same seat. It was at Parliament, the seat that they were running for. And both had very big election campaigns. Person X was on the streets, meeting people, helping people out, mowing people's lawns for them. So was person Y. And they were interviewed by media personnel. They were interviewed before the voting happened, before people cast their ballots in. And all of them were saying, oh, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. We're going to work on, healthcare, education, X, Y, Z. They had their points. And some of their points were quite similar as well. At the end, when the elections took place and the person was elected, person X was elected. Now, when person X was elected, obviously they were very happy. They gave an election speech as well. They thanked everybody. They said they were going to work for you. And definitely a good candidate to be a representative in Parliament. When the media went to person Y, a lot of people approached him, and you think that everybody's going to say, are you sad about the verdict? Why do you think you lost? What happened? So media personnel came to person Y and said, what made you think that you lost this election? What happened? And put the mic at him. Person Y smiled and said that, I don't think I lost the election. You see, a lot of the points that I had were the same points that person X had. I'm not running for the position or the seat. I'm running for a cause. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these were my causes. And more than half of them are the same causes that person X has. So if he gets the seat, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. Because that person, I believe, will put those things and implement them the way I wanted to too. Me running or trying to apply for this position just means that I want to be a benefit to society. I want to do what I can within my capacity. Sure, it's not my time now. It wasn't meant to be. But the other person, I'm pretty sure they're going to do a good job. And if I can support them in some way, I will. But yes, if they don't adhere to the points that have been made, and they go opposite to it, or they don't pay too much attention to it, then yes, I'm going to ask questions. But I'm very happy about the elections. Do you see the difference right now between every other election that you've seen? In any country, any given country, what people are doing is they're bashing their opposition. They're too busy bashing them and name-calling them and trying to make scandals come up that they don't concentrate on the actual cause. If me as a human being, I walk up to people who are potential candidates for a position, my question is, do all of you want the betterment of the society or the betterment of the constituency or the betterment of the country that you're running this election for? If they say yes, then all of them are on the same level field that I'm in. Now, their points matter. Not who's done bad and who's done good and making scandals and corruption things come against them. It's unfortunate that if corruption and scandal and all those things are true, it's unfortunate if they do exist. But right now you're focusing on the betterment of your society and how to progress with development and positive development. Anybody can be a leader. Leadership is not a rank. It's not a position. It's a decision. It's a choice. Think about it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.